G'day guys, we're on the line with Chris from local Adelaide band and Painkiller Bookings and Promotions current Band of the Month, Emergency Rule. G'day Chris, cheers for
How
taking the
you
time
going?
to speak with me.
Not a problem. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. So can we start off by just getting a bit of a history of Emergency Rule?
Sure thing. We're a hard rock riff-based guitar band. We've been together for about 3 and a bit years or thereabouts. We've come from all sorts of projects, but with a common interest in guitar sort of driven riff music, whatever you want to call it, and it's just a bond that sort of keeps us together, and yeah, it's going good and enjoying it.
Now, you're obviously a guitarist for the band. How does the writing process work? Does it just start off with you figuring out a riff and then sort of bringing it in, or how do you do it?
Typically, yeah, we've sort of got a big catalogue of riffs we write with another guitarist, Callum, and he writes riffs and I write a lot of riffs, and we sort of bring riffs to the table initially, and we just record them with in our jam room and sort of catalogue them really, and then ultimately we review and put stuff together, and if it hangs together and it's got flow, typically we jam it without any vocals or melodies, and then after that, once we've got a very basic structure with a few riffs, we our bass player slash singer Dougie probably ad-libs mostly melodies and see if that works, and then that's sort of the foundation of a song, and then obviously with more jamming we refine it and put a more fuller structure together and make a song.
Cool. So you guys have been described as, which must be a pretty good compliment to receive, by the way, but you've been described as Adelaide's answer to Thin Lizzy. And listening to your tracks, you can hear why, but obviously there's a lot of other rock and hard rock influences in your songs. Who would you say are your greatest influences?
We've got influences quite varied across genres. So whilst we love our metal, so we've all probably been in metal bands at some point in time, or we do draw inspiration from 70s classic rock. So even late 60s to 70s rock. One of those being obviously Thin Lizzy and that use of dual guitars and harmonised lines. But even classics like Cream and Creedence and Lynyrd Skynyrd and Sabbath, of course. We have to pay great tribute to Sabbath, so we can't forget to overlook that. But yeah, more classic inspirations, but like I said, we're all metalheads and we're into our heavy music as well. So something, when you put that into the pot, you get the mix and you get an Emergency Rule sort of sound.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because obviously, rock peaked in the 70s and 80s, and then it sort of metal almost evolved from rock, whereas you guys are doing like a bit of a spin on that, whereas you've come from metal and then are evolving rock. And I think that's sort of giving you guys a bit of a unique sound, whereas, lots of rock bands that are coming out these days, they kind of just sound like they're trying to rip off all the classics from, yesteryear. But yeah, you guys are an original band. Is that what you set out to achieve?
We probably didn't have any specific goals in mind, but because of the combination of musicians involved and the slightly different influences, it all comes together in that particular way. So yes, it's very riff-driven, but without solid groove and strong drumming, that's an integral ingredient as well. So we've got all those influences coming together, but found that in metal, I would have to say, we all go to Soundwave together and we all go to metal shows together when touring acts come around, so we do love our metal.
Speaking of headbanging, you're about to premiere your latest track, Flag and a Metal, I believe it's called. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We recorded it some time ago. It's a bit of an epic it's an epic at just over 8 minutes, but we weren't too worried about its commerciality because it's an 8-minute song and that's what it is, and we're happy to leave it in its original form and not adapt it to commercial requirements. But it's a riff-based odyssey with lots of influences, some dark riffing and some southern-inspired riffs, and then some epic middle section sort of drone and you could say stoner, to use a phrase for the month, but it's got a bit of everything, and we're going to release it very, very shortly, and we wanted to announce it on the during this interview because we thought it would get a good audience, and we're happy to announce it that we are releasing Flag in the Metal. It'll be a digital release initially, and we've got some really cool merchandise and merchant tees done with the graphics done by famous rock and roll artist David Paul Seymour, who's a guy from the States that's done a lot of artwork for various bands, including Red Fang and Clutch and whatnot. And we're making a T-shirt with some of the graphics he's provided for the Flag in the Metal EP. So we're excited about that as well.
Beautiful. Well, without any further ado, we're going to play the track right now. So enjoy it, guys.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Center of the great city on a peaceful morning.
Okay, so as everyone just heard, Flag in the Meadow was a ripper of a track, and like you touched on before, it's 8 minutes. How do you wrap your head around riding such an epic track?
That is a good question. It basically, it never set out to be a long song, but it had so many good parts that we didn't want to take anything away from it, and especially in the middle section where it's mostly instrumental, we felt that to do it justice, it should be played out in its jammed out form and not chopped and cut to fit any particular time frames or anything like that. So we wanted to maintain the integrity of it and just play it as it was jammed and created.
Wicked. See, you guys have got a couple of shows coming up. The one on November 6th with Holy Serpent and Iron Wurzel. Will you be playing that track during the show?
Absolutely. It's our favourite track to play live, and we love playing it because it is a little bit indulgent, but we do find that it is a journey, and people, by the end of it, are slightly exhausted, but always receives a great reception live. So, yeah, can't wait to play it live on a great, diverse bill that's happening on the 6th.
Yeah, at the Crown and Anchor. I can't wait for that one. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, it should be a good show. It's a good diverse bill, and Holy Serpent and Wurzel and 13 Black and Black Coral and ourselves. It's got something for everybody. So get in early. It's a great value show, and much fun had by all, I hope.
Absolutely. And so what are your plans for the rest of this year and for the start of next year?
We're talking about doing a little video clip for Flag in the Meadow. We are booking in more recording time. We've got plenty of material that we want to put down, and slowly but surely we're booking up shows, and we've got some shows at up until January, end of January, early Feb. But looking for some more shows, and I'm happy to play live because that's sort of where it's at too. We love the feeling of, as musicians, to play live and perform and entertain. So it's a good show, hard rocking show. So yeah, make sure everyone gets out to the show on the 6th at the Cranker.
Would you say just getting out there and playing as much as you can is the key to sort of getting your band out there and making a bit of an impact on the scene?
It is. Playing is critical in developing the band's sound and identity. So doing that as much as possible, albeit to small crowds or large crowds, doing that regularly actually helps you define your own unique sound and delivery of performance. So that's really critical, and it basically gets people aware. So every show you can play to different people in different places geographically, and not just in your hometown, slowly but surely adds to a fan base. And fan base these days that gets you somewhere in the business. Not that we're in it for the business, but speaking of how to get your band's profile up, it's about, we think, playing a lot with different bands, not just in the same genre all the time. You've got to branch out into heavier genres or rockier genres and just get out there and show your wares to people.
So just to finish up, I just want to know, you mentioned before you've got a few new songs coming out. Will that eventuate into an album maybe towards the end of 2016?
That's the intention. We've got a catalogue now of probably a couple of albums worth of material, and we're fairly prolific in terms of writing and creating new songs. So our sort of back catalogue is quite large, but we're just going to have a stint and put out probably a 5-track EP in the interim, unless things evolve and there's interest, and we'll continue the recording and make a full album, a long play, and to get it out there in 2016.
Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you very much for your time, Chris. Good luck with the release of the new song, Flag in a Meadow, and obviously for the show on November 6th and beyond. And thank you very much for being our Band of the Month.
Thanks to you guys. The support's fantastic. Keep up the good work, and we hope to see punters out at the 6th and beyond.